In this video, I want to share the n+1 query problem in web development, some instances where n+1 query problem occurs and how to solve this n+1 query problem, and some practical use cases of the solution. So let's dive into the video. First, I want to give a brief overview of what n+1 query problem actually is. So if I just go to Google and search what is an n+1 query problem, it gives an AI overview. So it is at its core, the n+1 query problem occurs when an application makes one query to retrieve a set of records. So one query to retrieve a set of records n, and then iteratively make additional queries for each of these records. So one for each. So it's n+1 queries. So for one query to get n records, and then loop through each record for n queries. So there is a total of n+1 queries. So I'll give you two instances where n+1 query problem occurs. So one instance is already what we have discussed in the previous video, which is the lazy loading problem. So as you can see, we did a previous video on lazy loading and eager loading. So when you do lazy loading, as you can see in this route, we got all the post records. That's one query done inside here, and then for each post we go through and fetch the comments from each post. So that's one query for each post. That's total of n queries, or the number of records here. If there are n records here, there will be n queries done here. So it's n plus, so there is one query and there is n queries, so there is n+1 queries done in lazy loading. So one instance is lazy loading where n+1 query problem occurs. Another instance where n+1 query occur is given in the documentation. As you can see, this is where another example where n+1 query occurs is when you try to access the parent attribute. When you want to access the parent attribute from inside the child. So as you can see here, it first gets one query and through eager loading, as we already mentioned, eager loading, it gets the post with the comments, with all the comments initially in one query, or in two queries, post with comments. But when it loops through each post and goes to each comments from those posts, and if I try to access the post title from comment, so comment post title, when you try to do this, there is an n+1 query problem occurs. Even when utilizing eloquent eager loading, n+1 query problems can arise if you try to access the parent model. If I try to access the parent model from inside the child, from inside the child model while looping through the child model. So I loop through the child model and I try to access the parent model attributes through the child model. This is where n+1 query problem occurs, because eloquent does not automatically hydrate the parent model from within the child model. So this is another example where n+1 query problem occurs. We have already discussed two instances where n+1 query problem occurs. One is the lazy loading problem, and another is where you access the parent model attributes from the child model. So these are the two instances where n+1 query problem occurs. So now what is the solution to these two instances where n+1 query problem occurs? So the solutions are for lazy loading. If I go to the code page, and if I go to the lazy loading problem, as you can see, this was the lazy loading problem where all the post records were fetched in one query, and then for n queries all the comments from each post were fetched. So the solution was eager loading. Now for another instance where n+1 query occurs, as you can see, this is the second problem where you access the parent model attribute. To solve this problem, we use the chaperone method inside the child model. So for comments of each post, I use the chaperone method inside the comments method. So if we use the chaperone on the child model, Eloquent, what Eloquent does is it automatically hydrates the parent model. So we can access the parent model attribute from within the child model when the chaperone method is used. This is the solution to the second problem where n+1 query problem occurs, and by using the chaperone method we successfully solve the n+1 query problem. Now I'll test the performance with and without auto hydration in Telescope, but before doing the test in Telescope, I just want to create a new route with this code here, with this code that will be used for testing. So I'll just quickly go to the web.php file and just create a new route. Let's say get posts auto hydration comments, something like this. Just name it out something like this with the function, which, and just copy and paste this code. Okay, so now I have, it's taking a little bit of time. Okay, so I have the code here, so which has the code with the comments, eager loaded with the comments, and a loop to get the title of the post through the comments through auto hydration. Okay, so but the auto hydration should work only when I have the chaperone method in the comments method of the comments relationship of the post model. So I remove the chaperone method, so now the auto hydration will not happen, so the Eloquent will not automatically hydrate. So I'll test in Telescope to check without auto hydration performance. So this is what I will test now. Now I'll test the without hydration Telescope. So as you can see, I have cleaned up the Telescope data, all the Telescope data with this, with the delete button. So now what I'll do here is I'll test this route. So I have the localhost, and this route is called. So if I call this route, there will be Telescope data, right? So if I call this route, as you can see in the requests, I have this and I have the route. So if I go to the queries, as you can see, so in this route, as you can see, I don't have the auto hydration enabled. As you can see, the chaperone method is I've removed that. So when this code is executed, there will be an n+1 query problem. As you can see, there is select all the posts, and then the eager loading with the comments, and then what happens here is when I try to access the attribute of post, the title attribute of post from the comment, there is no auto hydration. So for each post in the iteration, there is one query executed. So there are 5 posts, so there are 5 queries executed. So the n+1 problem exists when there is no auto hydration, or when there is no chaperone method. So there is no auto hydration, so there is this n+1 query problem. Now I'll test with auto hydration. So in order to test with auto hydration, what I will do here is I will go to the post model, bring back the chaperone method in the comment relationship of post. So I have the chaperone method now. So this will be auto hydrated. So the parent title attribute of post through the comment will be auto hydrated. So if I now test this route again, I can just first remove this data, maybe remove all the data and try it again. So I have empty requests and empty queries. So now if I try it again, so there will be this request, and if I go to the queries, as you can see, there is auto hydration enabled. So as you can see, there are only 2 queries of eager loading, the select star from post and select star from comments, where comment is within these 5 post IDs. So there is now n+1 query problem solved with auto hydration enabled through the chaperone method. Now I want to show you the practical use cases of auto hydration. So I asked ChatGPT, can you tell me some practical use cases of Eloquent auto hydration technique with the chaperone method? So it gives on a brief introduction about the eloquent auto hydration, and then the common use cases. So the first common use case is form submission with a has one or has many relationships. So when you have a form that saves a parent model and related children, so parent model and related children in one go. For example, there is a user, then the user model with the related profile model is saved at one go. So with chaperone, after saving user, Eloquent automatically reloads user profile to reflect any database changes or side effects. So for example, updated timestamps, generated slugs, etc. So you save parent model and related children in one go. So parent model, user, the related children profile in one go. So the second use case is observers or events that mutate relationships. As we know that we have eloquent model observers for the common events like created, updated, etc. So these are default in Laravel. So you might have model observers events that update relationships behind the scenes. So as you can see here, after saving the user, you might you want to be sure the user profile contains the updated relationship without manually refreshing it. Chaperone helps auto hydrate that. So after saving the user, the profile contains the updated relationship. So the third case is atomic operations during complex relationship updates. So when there are complex relationships like nested relationships, you need to use the auto hydration. For example, here order, the related or the relation of order here is there are two relations here, shipping address and billing address, and shipping address is changed with city and billing address also changed with city. So after saving, all related shipping address and billing address are reloaded, ensuring any triggers, timestamps or calculated fields are up to date. So the fourth case is real-time API response. So when returning the updated model in API. So, and the fifth case is when using value objects or casts that affect relationships. So these are some of the use cases, practical use cases of the eloquent auto hydration. I hope you enjoyed the video where I discussed the n+1 query problem, the solutions and some practical use cases. So in the next video, I'll come up with another interesting Laravel tip. So stay tuned for that.